Ooh, that was actually pretty nice. YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day, and it is a busy day. We got Anderson zercher squats because K-Dot fucking hates me. We got hang snatches. We're building up to a 2-rep max on the hang snatches, and we got cleans, building up to a 2-rep max from the hang clean. Actually, I think he wants me cleaning from the ground, so we got hang cleans into 1 clean off the ground, so it's a 2+1. We're going full Ole. This is our first time going 2+1 on anything, so that's kind of crazy. And then we got build up from the ground, heavy set of 2, or maybe it's 2 sets of 1, something along those lines. We're going heavy on the cleans, and then we got those RDL shrugs, and then a couple accessories, so K-Dot's going to fuck me up today, and we're going to get after it. It was 75 degrees today in Minnesota, so I got a little tan. I look a little good here. We got some sunlight in our life, and we got to smash some softballs, and I just got back from pickleball. We were playing in the 4-0 league today, which is it's a little above my level, and we were cooking today. We were on one, and it was fun to compete with these guys. RFK Jr. was talking about how these kids with autism won't play baseball. He's obviously never seen these pickleball guys play because the last guys I played, neither of them said a word the entire time. Very autistic, and they fucked us up. So I don't think he understands the superpower that it is, but I got humbled real quick today. We got day 2 of creatine maxing. Gut felt pretty good on 15 grams yesterday. We got 15 grams in us today, so hopefully that powers us to a sickening day of lifts today. So let's get after it. Let's go. All right, so to start in K-Dot's death program, we got 2-rep max Anderson zercher squats here, so a super sophisticated setup because we don't have a rack with arms here. So hopefully this doesn't completely fall apart, but these are actually feeling really, really strong. I like this position that we're picking it up out of, and we're gonna rip a 2-rep max here. With these, we got front foot elevated, step drops into low ceiling hops, so we're landing in this lunge position, front foot's elevated, we're bouncing out, warming up the hips there. I'll show those next. And we're ripping jump mat right now. We got a 35-2, so jump mat's feeling fucking solid right now, and we're gonna keep pushing that. So let's get after it. Here we go. Let's go. Oh, tarps are off early. The gremlins have finally been revenged. We got our belts in. We got our straps back in from Amazon, so we are fully restocked. Other than having the OBR, we are missing the OBR. If somebody from OBR wants to bless me with a replacement OBR from the Gremlins, that would be amazing. And I'll do some sports science for you, but we're kind of back. We got tarps off, we got belts on, and we're ripping some Anderson zercher squats. Let's get after it. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so then we got our last set of these jumps here. Dropping in a lunge position, hitting some low heeling jumps after in that bottom position, opening up the hips, some of that deep tier work done. That back right toe doesn't really love this landing position, so the left side just a little sketchy, but when we get to the right side, we look like a beast. So let's get after it. Ooh, let's go. Ooh. Let's go. Finish up with these zerchers. All right, this will be our last or top set of these zerchers. After the top set, we got to drop 60 to 70, 260 or 70%, and hit 3 sets of doubles, quick ones, explosive ones there. Gonna get after it, but if we got 4 plates here on this zercher, first time doing it, that'd be kind of sickening. So let's get after it. Ooh, that was actually pretty nice. God damn. Woo. Felt pretty strong doing those. Let's get to some hang snatches. Let's get after it. See if the back will survive today. All right, so I'm actually a dumbass. Maybe it was the CT, maybe it was the subconscious mind being a little bitch, but I totally emptied and stripped the bar. You can see all the weights everywhere off of that zercher, and I had drop sets at 70%, but we're a little bit on a time crunch, and I can't load that bar back up. I cleaned everything up, and mentally, we're not there. So we'll hit speed squats tomorrow. Don't worry, K-Dot. I'll just come back and rip them again. I'm sure I'll feel great after everything you had me doing today, but we will get those in. Right now, we got 2 sets of 4 hang snatches, sets of 4, fuck you. Then after the sets of 4, we got 2 sets of 1, building up to a heavy single on these hang snatches. He said no full send, no zins in, but I mean, probably gonna throw a zin in if he's giving us the chance to 2 sets of 1 it. So we'll rip something from there. Let's get after it. Let's go. God damn, those are feeling clean. Let's go. So before we get to this second set of 4, those snatches were feeling buttery. He wants me jumping. The no foot has been feeling good, but I should probably get back to that jumping and a little bit more explosive with it. But that felt really technically clean. Obviously, okay. in perspective with Oli lifts, so you got to give me some leeway here. It felt really good for me. My hook grip's feeling strong. On the 2 sets of 1, we'll go regular grip. But I got the question, and I'm going to combine a couple questions here because I got the question on should you get an ACL surgery or not if you tore your ACL, and then I got another question asking about should you get back surgery if you have a herniated disc, right? And first off, I am not a doctor. I am not a surgeon. I'm a meathead strength coach and want to be softball pro. So take this stuff with a grain of salt. But I did tear my ACL, and I have had a herniated disc. I had surgery on neither of them, right? I had a slight tear in the ACL and a full-on herniated disc. ACL happened in football. I was getting blocked, and some offensive lineman fell on it. Game before the very last game of the season in our semifinal game, tore the meniscus with it. But the ACL was slight. It was giving out. It wasn't very strong, but I was able to put a brace on it. I played in the very next game, and I'm like 97% quad. So I think that was a massive reason why I was able to get around the meniscus and ACL and kind of power through it for that last game. But I had like a 9-ish month period. The knee was giving out, and still sometimes. I think it's the meniscus more than anything that really bugs me, where it'll start to catch and really give out. But recently, past 2 years, it's been feeling really strong. And I took BPC 157. It really helped with that. 2 years ago was the last time I had an issue. I kind of jumped, and I felt something pop again in that knee, and then it started to get really unstable. And that's when I took BPC 157 for the very first time. And within 2 weeks, my knee felt fucking phenomenal. And whether that was the BPC 157 or it just started to heal by itself, I don't really fucking care because the knee started to feel good. So I'm going to stick with the fact that it worked. And I think that is core message of what I want to rant about here is you need to find what works for you when it comes to surgery or no surgery, right? And I think you need to look at the risk-reward factors when it comes to these surgeries. As cringe as the risk-reward factors are in the strength conditioning world, I really do think they apply in the surgery world and massive intervention. I think the reason that risk-reward is so stupid in strength conditioning is that there's no massive interventions or life-changing or life-altering things we're doing in the weight room, right? Like it's literally we're just picking up a barbell and putting down a barbell in the most controlled environment known to man. Whereas when you're dealing with surgery, you have massive trauma to the body, and you really have to look into if that trauma is worth it or not, and what the recovery periods are like or not, and if there are other options or not. Could you get the same results without that extra added massive trauma, right? That's why I think these are two very different answers, but I get the answers about these injuries all the time, and it's not anti-surgery or pro-surgery, or you need to just listen to your doctor, or you need to not listen to your doctor, right? It's taking it case by case and seeing, does it work for you? When you look at the studies behind back pain and back surgery, there's a lot of risk and not a lot of reward, and there's a lot of other interventions we can try that not a lot of people try before they get the surgery or before they're pushed into surgery when it comes to back pain and herniated disc and bulged disc, such as just fucking waiting a couple weeks. And for a lot of people, that pain goes away, or starting gradual exposure to movements that cause the pain in the first place, starting to strengthen that back up. And we've had a ton of phenomenal results. We've had hundreds of athletes come in with back pain that were told that they needed surgery, approached it with a non-surgical approach and got them out of pain, and they never had to go to surgery, right? And I think that's another thing when it comes to the back surgery. Like so many times people are just rushed through the door of they have back pain, they get the MRI, they see that they have a bulged or herniated disc, and they schedule the surgery a week or two later, right? That's the process. It's like a fast food service for that surgery. And what I like to tell a lot of people in that back pain situation is just take a deep breath and breathe. And like, if we work with you for 3 weeks or we work with you for 3 months and we're not seeing any progress, the surgery is still there. The massive intervention is still there, but let's start with small interventions first before we get to that point, before we expose the body to that massive trauma. And if we can get better that way, you're gonna be so much better off. So when it comes to back surgery, I would definitely lean towards there's a high risk when it comes to the surgery and decently little reward when you look at the studies, especially when you can compare them to placebo groups and the fact that we have other interventions when it comes to back surgery, right? Now, the ACL, I think it's on the other end of things. I think it's a surgery that we got down to a science much more. Athletes are able to come back in 9 months, and if you actually fully tear your ACL, most athletes don't have another option other than to get surgery, right? So there's no small interventions you can take. I mean, you can try stuff, and we've had 2 or 3 athletes, plus myself, with minor tears in the ACL, be able to strengthen the quad up and function perfectly fine. But if you fully tear the ACL, there's really not a ton of other interventions, and then the risk becomes worth the reward because you actually get back onto the field 9 months later, right? So I think you really just have to take this stuff case by case. And again, if the surgery heals you, the surgery makes you feel better, surgery gets you back playing, man, that's all that fucking matters. I don't want to be anti-surgery. I just think we need to look at other options. A lot of times it's just about taking a deep breath and just questioning some of the people that are trying to take your money and trying to cut you open right away. And at the end of the day, if you decide that that surgery is right for you and it's your only option and the risk is worth the reward for you, then we go get that surgery. But again, when it comes to the back pain, I'm much more leaning towards not getting the surgery. And when it comes towards the knee, I'm much more more towards leaning getting the surgery. And I think it all comes down to what are other interventions, what are other options, what do the results look like after that massive trauma that you're going to induce. If you're going to induce a massive trauma on the body, it better be fucking worth it because you're going to be paying for it for a long time. The ACL, it's a 9-month minimum recovery period. With the back, it's a lot of times a lifetime recovery period. And when you get to the back, things that you were trying to solve a lot of times do not end up being solved. So you induced a massive trauma, a massive risk with very little reward. And with the knee, most people are coming back just fine. Obviously, you have a higher risk of re-tearing that ACL, but it's pretty much your only option to get back onto the field, get back playing the things that you want to play. The risk becomes worth the reward there, right? So just take it on the individual approach. A lot of times when it comes to these surgeries, just slow things down, take a deep breath, question things a little bit, see if it's right for you. Don't let people pressure you into these surgeries 2 weeks later. I know so many people where they go in and after meeting with a doctor or surgeon for 40 minutes, they have a surgery and a full-on operation plan 2 weeks later, which is fucking ridiculous. To not allow the body to heal, to not look at other interventions, and to just cut somebody open, right? So, all right, that's that whole rant. Let's get after these snatches. All right, now we're going to build up to a heavy single. We're going to use straps, and we're going to get after it. Let's go. Oh, yeah. That bar's fucking flying today. Let's keep that fucking bar speed up. That thing felt amazing that last set. Hopefully it keeps feeling good. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Woo. For how little pop we felt cleaning, we feel like we're moving this bar fucking quick. So not supposed to full send, but if we got 225 on this hang clean, that'd be sickening. Let's go.
All right, we got to work on that catch position a little bit. I was getting a little lazy with that, but the bar is popping today. If we get this, we're going to go straight to cleans. Let's go. Oh my God, dude. What the fuck is going on? Holy shit.
All right, that was disgusting. That was 225 to Arkansas Diamond playing the lightest 225 has ever felt. So K-Dot shit is from a hang snatch. That was fucking ridiculous. So that was sickening. Don't take it out, but put 245 on the bar. We're gonna fucking try it. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. We're not gonna rip ourselves apart today on this. I'm gonna stick to program. Or just one little taste of a 7. Let's go. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Let's fucking go, dude. Woo! Well, that is fucking sickening. That's a 5-pound PR. I mean, and it's probably a 25-pound PR from the hang snatch. That is fucking ridiculous. That's a full snatch PR by 5 pounds. So let's fucking go. And it felt pretty fucking light. That did not feel that bad. But we're gonna cut it out there, and we're gonna get to these cleans. God, fucking working. We're turning into a unit. Let's get after this. We got 2 cleans from the hang clean position, and then 1 from the ground at this 225. So let's rip. Let's go. We're running out of time here because we got to go get a dinner, so we're just going to finish up with these cleans. We got another set of that, and then we're building up to another heavy clean from the pads today, so that'll be pretty sickening. Wrist and thumb was feeling a little goofy on that last one, so hopefully that starts to feel a little bit better. But I got the question asking about when to dial in, like with small details, like if the small details become boring and minute. This is like keeping it fun and keeping it general, and like when do you focus on narrowing down your technique and becoming super specific versus staying general and playful with your technique? And honestly, this really depends on what level of athlete you are. And even if you are a super high level athlete, I think so many people get lost in that minute of like, I need to be more specific, I need to be more precise. And a lot of times it just turns in this paralysis by analysis where it keeps them from doing what they need to do, which is just rep out the task in any way that they can do it. In a fun day, in a super specific way. The way that I like to do it in softball is early in the week. On Monday and Tuesday, we're playing around with a bunch of different things. So on Monday and Tuesday, I'm trying all my drills. I'm trying low hands, I'm trying high hands, I'm fucking around with the tee. I'm trying to hit fun spots. We're making up games and we're making it super fun, super creative. It's usually after a tournament where I might be a little bit burnt out from softball and I got to make it fun again, but I get the energy high on Monday and Tuesday early in the week. I play around with some feels. I want to see if something will click. I think it keeps you improving and keeps you creative in your approach. I think a lot of times we get narrowed down. The better you get at your sport, the more you get kind of stuck in your mold of things, and you start to lose that exponential gain factor of trying to find something new, trying to find that next thing. So I definitely think a certain part of your practice needs to be in that creative, playful aspect. And then in the middle of the week and towards the end of the week, we'll just gradually narrow it down into more specific. So by the time it hits Thursday and Friday, so like today, I was taking game swings. I was going with my normal approach. I wasn't really fucking around with anything. So then I have the confidence to go into the weekend with something that is stable, right? I think a lot of times when you start to mess around with things and you start to think about things and play with things, you get to the game and you don't have that really mastered yet, and you start to get in your head, and then your performance in the games or your turn and then tourneys suffer, and that's absolutely not what you want to do. So I really start to dial that in towards the end of the week, keep it super strict, hit the tournament, and then we come back to that playful approach. Another super simple way to do it is just the first 10 to 15-ish minutes of your practice, make it playful, make it creative. In team sports, this could be where you're playing a bunch of small-sided games, a bunch of fun, creative, small-sided games. So the first 10, 15 minutes, get the energy up, make it creative. Then we dial into the technical and tactical aspects. In something like throwing, it could be messing around with different implements, trying to hit range throw, just different, anything that gets it creative, gets it fun, gamifies it a little bit, gets the energy high, and then you narrow it into your practice. But I think there definitely needs to be a balance of the super specific technical aspect and the creative fun aspect that brings the energy to the practice and to the sport and keeps your love there. If your love for the sport is not there, love for chasing that perfection, your love for chasing what you need to chase is not there, your practice is going to suck and you're going to stop learning, you're going to get burnt out. So the more you try to nos things and just stay super specific for a super long time, I think a lot of times you lose out on that long-term growth because a lot of times you burn yourself out. And then even if you are being super specific, it's so dull and so boring, as you stop giving intensity, you start lacking focus, right? So I think that's another benefit of that creative, playful side of things. And then just the general aspect of it is don't get lost in the paralysis by analysis. Anything that you're doing in your sport, if you are repping it out, if you are getting reps in, and you are finding a way to do that, you are finding a way to keep it interesting, you are finding a way to show up, that is going to be so much better than not getting reps in. Going to draw it back to the softball world where so many guys talk about not wanting to do the tee because it's not specific enough, or it's not the pitch, or it messes them up. I'm like, I promise you, taking cuts off the tee and gaining confidence in the feels and the things you are doing off the tee, even if it's not specific, even if the ball is not moving, is so much better than not swinging the bat at all. And that should be such common sense, but when we have all of this information and all of the correct things to do, we get in our heads and we're like, the tee isn't specific enough, we're not going to do it. And it's just such a silly aspect. And again, these things can sound fun and creative on paper and super great on paper, but when you get to real life, man, I have lived it and breathed it. I have taken a bunch of swings off a tee, and it has made me a significantly better hitter than when I wasn't doing that. And again, it doesn't mean it's the optimal, it doesn't mean it's the perfect, it doesn't mean it's even close to taking live pitches, but getting reps is better than not getting reps, right? So I think that's another aspect to this skill aspect. Make sure you're getting your reps in first, then find a way to play around with your reps to see if you can get a different feel, a different creative aspect into your play, and then narrow it down into your technique and the things that you want to stick, and keep that cycle alive so it stays fun and stays creative, right? So let's get our second set here, let's go. Let's go. Then we just got singles from the ground. Back's a little fried from everything so far today, but we're gonna get after it. Let's go. Oh, that was super weird. God damn, I almost blew up my knees there. Oh, that last rep was a little too loosey-goosey, but we kind of just ripped it from the ground without doing any reps from the ground. So we'll dial in here, see if we can get something heavy. Let's go. Oh yeah. Woo! I don't think it's gonna happen today, but if we also busted out a clean power today, the fucking creatine maxing works. So let's get after it. Here we go. All right, took a little leak, got a little water in the system, got a little piece of nicotine gum in. Let's keep making this look clean. Probably won't grind through a ton today, but finish strong with these. Let's go. Oh, damn, that was gross. A little too long of a break. We'll hit one more set. Let's go. All right, if we get 335 up today, that'd be pretty sickening. That 315 almost ripped me apart, but it felt strong after I got it up. I just got to be a little bit more focused on that pull. Let's go. Oh, nope. A little unfocused. I'm good with today. let's get after it. I appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood.